Hey, I'm meteorologist Doug Myers with the latest look at your forecast. Yesterday was another hot day, well above average for this time of year. It will be much cooler today, but we also had some rain coming through yesterday and last night. Taking a look at rainfall totals yesterday before midnight, a little over a half inch in Manhattan and almost 9/10 of an inch in Concordia, or a little bit more than 8/10 of an inch. Nothing in our eastern communities, but it did push through our eastern communities after midnight. It got additional almost third of an inch in Manhattan, but as expected, the rain did weaken as it pushed eastward, so it wasn't as heavy as it continued on its eastward progression as it continued to dissipate overnight. But some areas around the Topeka area, you can see some green showing up around Topeka. There were some spots that did get at least a quarter inch worth of rainfall, because that's once you start seeing that darker green around the area, that's where you start to get into at least a quarter inch worth of rainfall. Just didn't happen at the airports, though. Taking a look at the bulk of the rain in the north of I-70, with many spots getting at least an inch indicated by the blue, so some much needed rainfall in those areas. I still can't completely rule out a few spotty showers between today and tonight. Nothing like what it was last night as far as the intensity of the rainfall for most areas. There may be a few brief downpours, but we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. In the meantime, highs will generally be in the mid-70s to low 80s. That might be a little bit cool with the low 70s that this model is indicating. I think those will be more in the mid-70s, but it is going to depend on how much clouds that we'll have. We will at least start off with sunny skies, and then with clouds quickly on the increase during the morning shortly after sunrise. There's not going to be a whole lot of sun. We'll take a look at the two computer models here in just a second on Supercast. I did want to mention that will still be somewhat on the humid side, especially this morning, and then we will start to usher in some drier air by this afternoon, and by tonight into tomorrow, much drier air working its way into the area. And this is going to set us up for some very dry air over the weekend and allowing temperatures to get on the chilly side. More on that here in a little bit. But here's a look at Supercast at 7 a.m. You can see some sun in some areas. Other areas are getting some clouds. Clouds will continue to increase through the morning. And as far as the rain is concerned, we will be keeping an eye on later on this afternoon, at least according to this model. If this were to play out the way this is showing, this will be something to watch for. 3 o'clock, you can see it's still somewhat dry, but rain starting to move into the area. Rain mainly staying south of I-70 through the late afternoon, early evening hours, and then falling apart, or at least pushing out of our area shortly after sunset. Our other computer model shows that this rain comes in a little bit quicker, closer to 1, so a few hours earlier, and not holding on to its intensity as long as that first one did. So there is still some uncertainty on how today is going to play out. That'll be something that we'll continue to fine-tune as we go throughout the day. In the meantime, we will still hold on to a low chance that our far southeastern communities could get a few spotty rain showers tonight before we start to get into some sun for tomorrow. Sunny skies for tomorrow, and then with another weak cold front coming through Friday, we may be ushering in our last opportunity for rain for a while. There's not going to be heavy rain. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze here, so bear with me. I'm trying to avoid that so I don't have to redo this video. But we will have an opportunity for some spotty showers on Friday. Not going to be overly heavy. A lot of it's mainly going to be during the morning, possibly early afternoon. But whatever plans that you have in the evening, it'll be dry. It'll be chilly. It'll be somewhat windy, too. We'll have wind gusts close to 25, 35 miles per hour on Friday. Yes, it does relatively get lighter, but once the sun goes down for those Friday evening plans, whether you're going to a high school football game or whatever plans that you have, but that's going to be something that we'll have to watch very closely. How light will the winds be? How dry will the air be? That's going to be key as to how cool Friday night, Saturday morning is going to be. Right now, I still have upper 30s. It's possible we may be closer to the mid-30s, or maybe a few spots getting close to the freezing mark. It has to do with how light the winds are and how dry the air is. That is going to be something that we'll have to continue to watch very closely. At the very least, especially in low-lying areas, patchy frost is possible. Probably more possible than a freeze. But it's definitely going to be a chilly start to the weekend. Here's what I'm talking about for the weekend as far as Saturday morning is concerned on our models. Generally showing upper 30s and low 40s, maybe some mid 40s. But there is still that potential it's going to be a little bit cooler than that if we get light enough winds and we have enough dry air in the area. Regardless, I do expect Sunday morning to be slightly warmer. Still chilly, but slightly warmer. Probably would be a good opportunity to check your heater. As we do begin to warm back up, you don't need your heater. And even if it's not working, you have some time to call the repair person to be able to get it repaired before we start to get into some more days in a row of chilly air. So again, wouldn't be a bad idea to test out your heater. Just in case it's not working, you have some time to get it fixed before we start to get into some colder air for a while. But it does warm back up next week. How warm it gets, that's going to be the question. I am leaning more towards the cooler bias of the computer model. It is very possible we're a little bit warmer than what I have indicated here in the forecast. So that'll be also something to watch out for as well. But bottom line is, any additional rainfall for the next 8 days, probably not going to be more than 2/10 of an inch of rain. You'll consider yourself lucky if you get more than 2/10 of an inch of rainfall, especially with any thunderstorms that develop today and or tonight. I don't expect much in the way of very heavy rainfall if we do get any on Friday. I really don't expect thunderstorms if we do get anything there, so it's not going to be overly heavy there either. So unfortunately, hopefully you got what you wanted with the rainfall last night. I know a lot of places did not, but that's just the luck of the draw and what we have handed to us from Mother Nature as we begin the month of October.